Hello there. Welcome to the final episode of Season 1 of the Elite Podcast. I'm Lee Thomas. Over the last season, I told y'all who I was, touched the sore topic of men's mental health, covered the 4 pillars of wellness, introduced SPUG and goal setting, then my 9 tenets. In today's episode, we'll talk about the final tenet, reflection. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Please, don't answer this quickly. Who do you see? Are you the person that you aimed to be when you wrote out your goals? Are you the person that you aimed to be when you signed up for your first college class? Are you better than the person you were yesterday? That is what I want you to keep in the crawl space of your mind while we go through this episode. We don't need Merriam-Webster, Google, or AltSquare creative solutions to tell us what the definition of reflection is. Why? Because we all have our own definition of reflection. Think about that. Just a few seconds ago, I asked what you see when you look in the mirror. Some of you see hair, eyes, teeth, lips, nose, wrinkles, all external things. Some of you see guilt, doubt, impatience, frustration. Some of you see hope, validation, or even the conglomeration of whatever life is thrown at you. If you see this last thing, that's growth. Granted, if your hair is longer today than yesterday, that's also growth. And if that was your goal, congrats. Now, let's look a little bit deeper at why reflection made it into the list of tenets. Reflection doesn't judge the other 8 tenets. It allows us to look back on how we got where we are and who we have become. It allows us to restart the process iteratively or even mix it in with the other tenets. Examples? If you are going through hardship, correcting your goal in real time will allow you to reflect on how you came out of it. Outside of reflection, what tenets did you use in this example? I'll give you 5 seconds to respond, then I'll drop the answer. Accountability, pride, clarity, discipline, and resilience. If you had said even one of those, smash that like button and share this with one other person. Okay, why/how did we use those tenets? You held yourself accountable in accomplishing your goal. Why? Because you have pride in what you are trying to accomplish and what you have accomplished thus far. You have built clarity because even though life has obstacles, you remain disciplined enough to overcome the adversity through resilience. Does that sound cheesy? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Sometimes the cheesiest things are the best things. Just ask someone from Philly or New York. And yes, that's a food pun. Speaking of cheesy, all of my military folks are going to love this. Before any operation, we would set objectives. During the operation, we would do our best to hit those objectives. After the operation, we would perform a debrief of what went right, what went wrong, what went so well that we should capture it, and what went so poorly that we need to make sure it never happens again. Change operation into transition and objective into goals. While transitioning into the new facet of life that you are striving to attain, you try your best to achieve your goals. After the transition is complete, you should reflect back and see what went right, what went wrong, what went super well, what went super wrong. I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios, or as I like to call them, for instances. Let's say your goal was to lose 10 pounds in 12 weeks so you could fit into your swimsuit before your vacation. Your vacation comes and you can't pull your bottoms all the way up, so you have to buy new ones. What was the underlying issue here? Did the trunk shrink? Probably not. Did the new ones just fit better? Probably, but that doesn't solve the problem. The problem is the issue. Let's do the work here, and I'm using quotes. Why was I unable to fit into my swimsuit during my vacation? Here's where it gets fun. We need to look inwardly and not put blame on anything else except what we can control. So we have to do what some people call the 5 whys. I don't call them that because sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. But essentially, you stop asking why once things get cloudy or when you think, because I'm dumb. That is not healthy and is incorrect. So you go one up from there. Here, let's show the work. Why? Because I did not lose 10 pounds in 12 weeks. Why? Because I didn't work out for 2 of the weeks and I carb loaded. Why? Because I was depressed. Why? Because a friend of mine passed away. It makes no sense to go further than this. Therefore, the friend passing away was the root cause. Obviously, this is not preventable, but the failure is. Therefore, we must solve how to recover if a similar instance occurs. We do this by pointing it back at the problem and point to where we can solve it. It will look something like, in order to fit into my swimsuit, I will create a risk assessment and a risk response to ensure my resilience and discipline are intact. We could also look at the goal and see if there was a different way of phrasing it that would allow for a better end result, i.e. lose 2 inches around the waist as opposed to 10 pounds. Further, losing weight that quickly might not be achievable for our body type, so we may say next time we will start earlier. Now that the failure is out of the way, let's look at how we would frame a positive goal. In the creation of SPUG, I have put it upon myself to live the life that I preach. Whereas I have faltered at times, it is great to have someone help you strive to live up to that goal. Thank you, Akari. My specific goal was to live the 9 tenets of SPUG to have a positive reflection by the end of season 1. Now, last week, I mentioned that I was having problems in my home life. What I haven't mentioned is that I'm currently in the process of writing a book and have developed SPUG into a full-blown leadership workup. Last weekend, I was upset with my wife. I won't go into details, but Monday I found out her reasoning behind what she did, which was valid. I pointed the lens of clarity back at myself and noticed that I was not giving her the same level of grace, shout out to Carl Music for that truth nugget, that I was awarding myself. So when I got to work, I sent her an email apologizing. Y'all, Candy and I have been together for 16 years, and since Monday, it's just like old times. Now, I ain't saying that past occurrences are indicative of future results, but under my roof, SPUG has proven to improve at least one relationship 100% of the time. With that said, what are my takeaways? Did I meet my goal? Yes. Why? Let's frame it. Why was I able to have a positive reflection by the end of season 1? Because I applied SPUG to my home life. Why? Because I am now writing a book. Why? Because I don't want people to feel as alone as I have felt. Why? Because I have felt abandoned since I was a teenager. Why? The answer to that would point outward. Therefore, the feeling of abandonment is the root cause. So let's phrase this into an actionable/repeatable response. In order to not feel abandoned, seek intrinsic motivation and apply clarity to others so that a positive reflection can be discovered. But what if? This is my favorite game. What if I changed my goal midway? What if I achieved the goal but it doesn't suit me? What if I achieve the goal and nobody cares? What if I didn't achieve my goal? First, good job recognizing that there is an issue. That's the first step. The second step is realizing where the issue stems from. I listed that out in the previous section. Some of these questions require pushback. Why did you change your goal? Did you reapply SPUG? Why doesn't the goal suit you? At which point did you realize that the goal doesn't suit you? If it was before the goal was realized, what made you continue? Why does it matter that nobody cares? The answer to all of the questions is keep pushing. Stay intrinsically motivated. Build momentum. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your successes. You will never be perfect, but you will always be you. Reflection helps you realize whether or not you are a better version of you than you were when you started. Whether your goal was realized, you met half of it, or you met none of it, discover what went right, what went wrong, and how to do better. Now, I do want to say that in what I've prepared, that would have been the conclusion, but I do want to say a few things here. Becoming a better version of yourself doesn't mean that you have to be a person that you no longer want to be. When I was 19 years old, I married my ex-wife. When I was 27, I realized that I no longer wanted to be in that relationship. What you want today, you might not want tomorrow. Do some soul searching before you actually write out what your goals are. And do your soul searching along the way as well. That's what reflection is about. Reflection is here to give you a lens to look into the mirror with and say, do I still want this? Do I still have what it takes? Do I need something else when it comes to attaining this goal? Now, reflection may be the last tenet, but what I want you to see here is you can use all 9 tenets at the same time. That's the way that they're built. That's the way that they're intended. It's just you need to make sure that you have your goals in place before you begin. And then you can start all over. Accountability, pride, clarity, discipline, resilience, mentorship, allyship, legacy, reflection. They don't have to be in that order. That's just the order in which I created them. And therefore it's the order that I teach them. With that said, I hope that you have gained something from this conversation. I would really love it if y'all would engage with my social media posts. And thank you for listening to Season 1 of the Elite Podcast. When we reconvene with Season 2, it'll be all about spugged out leadership. Until then, be good to yourself, be good to those you care about, and stay SPUG and elite. Season 1, out.